The following video is concerning the subject of a Rust Legacy client or Rust Legacy game you can download. For those of you who don't know, Rust Legacy is the original version of Rust. We'll call it Rust 0. That was available from Christmas time 2013 to 2016's Christmas through its distributor, Steam, and created by Facepunch. So the version we're going to be talking about today is a, quote, update. The literal file name comes from its storage on Google Drive, and let's get some data. RustLegacyDarkRustUPDATED.zip. Internally, most of the files are from January 20th of 2026. In the configuration directory, the newest file is January 31st. The bundles directory newest file is February 13th. The Rust data managed directory has the newest file of February 16th, as well as most of the others, including the logs and output log file under various directories. The last run shows that it was done sometime in the early morning, and the file itself appears to have that as the time and date stamp for the last file set, or thereabouts. This was uploaded from on behalf of a website that's called rustlegacy.online. Now, as of, February 12th of this year, it listed a Google Drive download that ended in TORF. That is the old, supposedly outdated client. It's still available if you go to rustlegacy.online/how-to-start, which I'll have a link below. However, if you go to the main page for once, it has an overtly obvious download the client or download the game button. And this leads to a Google Drive that ends in TVQJJ, which is the one I'm reviewing. My complaint about this product is that, it worked fine, and then it decided not to let you update it because the updater wasn't compatible or would have a problem or whatever. Meanwhile, RustLegacy.online's preferred and referred servers began not letting their own client work with it. Now, obviously, at this point, this one was created during the period of time that one was up, the old version. About a day after it was uploaded, they started altering it through bundles, the managed directory, etc., and this has been released recently. Now, relatively recently. And again, they would go out of their way to hide where the download button was. It's one of my complaints about many websites. If everybody's coming to your website for a download, just give us the download. But anyway, what happened when I downloaded it? Well, it looks to be a completely conventional copy of the game. It does not work. Now, the previous version, that again is still on their rustlegacy.online/how-to-start directory, that outdated client will try to run, and you can use it on some servers. This one won't start. It gives up a set of errors that include the following: syminit, which is a command, symbol search path for web symbols, which leads to and is linked directly, and it's in the log files, MSDL, Microsoft Download, Microsoft.com/download/symbols, which has a website explanation when you go there that says this is for debugging tools for Windows and Visual Studio, and it's attempting to download debugging tools or not. It also runs another set of functions, SymType, exported, PDB, I'm assuming that's a database reference, for C:\Windows System 32 copies of or the SymType output based on analyzing kernel32.dll, ntdll.dll, and KERNELBASE.dll, or other. That's based on me looking it up through a cursory lookup. I have never seen this particular output in any of the other Rust Legacy clients. And if any of you aren't aware, this game was originally created back in 2013 through 2016 using Unity Game Engine 4.something, eventually 4.5, and went through several revisions and alterations, some of which are beneficial or just fixes. And then eventually, when the newest version of the Unity game engine came out, they just said to hell with it all and just made what we now call Rust, which I guess we could call it Rust version 1 because we can retroactively call this 0, but we call it Rust Legacy. So what exactly is this video about? All right. If you put out a piece of software and it's designed to require Windows 11, Windows 10, Windows 8, or something, say so. If any of you know what operating system the thing wants, please post it. No, I don't mean on Discord or some other thing. Put it up on a page where everybody can see it before we try to invest any time or energy into downloading a 500 megabyte file that expands out to 1 gigabyte or 1.5 gigabyte if we were fully expanding it. I did a virus scan. No viruses show up. It went through 66 main files that could carry a virus in 14 directories out of a little under a gigabyte. That was 0 bytes out of an estimated 1.5 gigabytes if you were to fully expand things while doing the scan. Link, I'll have the information below. It doesn't contain any viruses, and these do appear to be simple, basic, someone wrote the game and it broke itself in its confusion. Messages, and it seems to be grasping at straws on the internet, trying to grab things that may or may not be compatible. I don't know if this is complaining about my operating system. Maybe I'm running I don't have a patch for the latest update for something. I'm running Windows 7, and again, the previous version, which is still available again at rustlegacy.online/how-to-start, that version still works as a almost generic client. But even though it's based on rustuj.cz and crimsonrust.eu internally, and it's called RustLegacyDarkRustUPDATED, or just Rust Dark, and it has all these different layers of updates and patches to basically what is the rustuj.cz client that you can just download instead. It found a way to crash a game that's been working correctly. Now remember, this was originally written to tolerate at one point Windows XP, or maybe 98, 95, a long time ago. This is a game that should not be able to say, I can't work, your computer isn't new enough, because that defeats the purpose of getting an older classic game written in a game engine this old. And there are modern game engines you can use that don't require anything above Windows 95. So this doesn't make any damn sense. Even there is even a Unity utility function that lets you publish your games to be extremely compatible with older computers. It's literally a tick box. You can make it 32-bit compatible, but 64-bit tolerant, and it'll work. What the hell did you do to break this? Anyway, one of my complaints about these projects where they keep updating it and therefore screwing over their users so they have to keep going in and downloading the game all over again. Again, this is a game from 2013 through 2016 that's supposed to work on all the servers, and it does. If you make all these updates, what do we get out of it? Well, everybody showing gameplay of this thing shows it not giving anything extra except that there's a new menu where you hit F5 and you get extra features. Some versions of it, like this one, the previous version of it, had a menu that includes almost the same functions to turn on and off features that we want to be able to turn on and off, like tall versus short grass, changing render distances to speed it up. Sometimes it gives you a game playing advantage, or just make it really simplified so it looks like a weird version of Roblox, or dare I say Minecraft on acid. The point is, for a game that's main characteristic is letting it work on really shitty old hardware, on really shitty old operating systems, this is looking a lot like this was rewritten by somebody who was stuck on what I call stupid or Microsoft 10. Microsoft Windows 10 it seems to rear its ugly head. If you're going to be dealing with rewriting a game from 2013 through 2016 that worked fine, and the last time it was a universal copy was 2015, maybe you should use the software to recompile and rebuild it from 2015 so it's always compatible, or just use the latest copy until make it compatible with older operating systems, which again, the last time I checked, and the last time I saw a tutorial I checked, has a compatibility button to force it to work with older operating systems by just using a set of patches that actually work. This is a repacked, rebuilt version of it using the original files. Okay, fine. And again, last time I checked, this Rust Dark version, Crimson Rust, and Rust Leak were all versions that were quasi-universal, had no problems with them, and then over time all of them have turned into something that won't work unless you run an updater that, by the way, the updater crashes too. Stop including an updater from now on and just give us a link to download the copy that works. Put on your page that it doesn't work unless you're using above a certain operating system. If it requires Windows 8, I can set Windows 8 compatibility, but I'm not going to. You have to tell us what the minimum op system is. And if you don't know, why are you writing programs? And again, you can set it to be more compatible with older operating systems. Now, I don't know what happened. Maybe recently Unity or whatever program you're using, Visual Studio or just whatever, maybe it disabled it. I don't know. Tell me in the comments. But on your website, tell us what the minimum system requirements are. Okay? 1. Number 2, if you're going to include an updater, make it unable to crash on everything. Or at least give us some useful output, which it doesn't. It just says, I've crashed. Yes, I've done all the basic things. Don't even ask me. So, what is this video review about? Rust Legacy Online download game, how to start version. Will still load, and you can still play it on some servers. This new and improved version won't load, won't update, crashes, and spits out log files that say, I'm hurt myself. And it does things that I've never seen done in any of them, so it looks like you just updated yourself into a hole. If any of you are programmers, you're going to have to learn to do this. And raise your right hand. I promise I will disable auto update on every hunk of software I've got, because I'm assuming the company that wrote the software is going to sabotage me to push me to buy the latest version. That's all you got to say. Just own it. That's what's really going on here. And again, if this requires Windows 8 or Windows 10 or some patch or file that we might be missing, say so. If you don't know the answer, stop writing programs. And again, you wrote the program to crash and the updater to crash. The updater crashed earlier. When the game came out a while ago from this particular group, the updater always broke. And it wasn't because it couldn't find something on the internet. Updaters just look on the net for a zip file and download it and overwrite. No, it just crashed in and of itself. A lot of the games are built with an updater that seems to be a modern technology updater. That's not what we need on classic, archaic, or legacy games. The game's literally called Rust Legacy. I can't even. So anyway, links below in the description to all of this. If you want to play with it, fine. If you're using an operating system that's newer, I'm using Windows 7, but that's not the point. Every other version at one point, less than 2 months ago, worked fine on Windows 7. If I wanted games that would only work on higher than Windows 7, I would just get Steam and get the goddamn game that way. Doom should not require Windows 10, because Doom is a DOS game. Can we agree on some of these basics? And yeah, someone found a way to take Legacy of Rust and make it work in a command line DOS-based game of Doom. That actually happened. No, it's not impossible. Yes, that's actually what happened. No, I don't care that you might believe me. Don't give a shit. So anyway, if anybody has any information on how to... Okay, screw it. If any of you are... I'm not going to go to Discord. I'm not asking... Discord's excluded because of recent issues. If anybody who wants to communicate with rustlegacy.online knows how to communicate with them, because I'm not going to bother emailing them this time, can you ask them to make sure it will work under Windows 7 stock, or with Service Pack 1, which is what I have. And if it does, put up that version and put it prominently next to the download and have it as Legacy Download. And put it up and make it work. And if you're not going to let it work, tell us the operating system minimum requirements, RAM requirements, or maybe that we need a patch or some subsystem like C++ update, whatever. But until that happens, I'm assuming incompetence on the part of the people creating this. Or carelessness. We'll say carelessness or not. And again, all you had to do is say Windows 7 is no longer supported, and I wouldn't have bothered downloading it. This was a waste of my time, and potentially you, the viewer. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. We'll all need it. Stop killing games.